10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yo, yo, yo. Man, you know what? It's kind of got a ring to it, doesn't it? Like, Competition Plus Power Hour starts now. The countdown to testing is now. Everything is now. Like, now. I'm excited. Right now, I'm excited. What's up, everybody? It's Slam and Sam, Competition Plus Power Hour. I'm one of the hosts. I'm a little wired up because it's now. It's go time. But I can't start the show and can't go on too long without bringing on my brother from another mother, my co-host, my friend. It doesn't matter. He's coming on right now. Lee, the Monday Morning Racer. Now. Now. Switch that. Switch that.
Sam.
So we don't get in trouble. Switch it. All right, I did it. No, hey. Switch it, Lee.
There.
Now.
Okay. Now it's right.
Now the show is ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're at. Let us know, are you ready? 2022 race season is upon us. Lee, how do you feel? All right, I'm going to calm down. A little bit. Lee, how do you feel that the 2022 race season is upon us?
I'm already tired.
Hey, you know what's true about that and what's good about that is I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I know that feeling when you're just like, dude, it's already. But dude, I don't know, Lee. It seems like
so excited. So excited.
Though. Yeah,
and being tired is a part of, I don't think people realize at times they look at people in media, they look at crew members, they look at drivers, and they think, oh, they're spending a day at the races and they're just having a well of a time. And I do have fun. I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing, but that does not mean it's not work. And it is tiring. And like today, I woke up in Arkansas and I barely got into Texas driving all day. Yeah.
You're in the great state of Texas. Why if you were in Texas or in Oklahoma area, why didn't you just stop at Elite Motorsports and jump in one of their semis?
I should have. I should have.
That's what I would have done. I'd have been like,
yes.
I'd have been like, hey, especially, with tonight's show, I would have been like, hey, I'm jumping in with you guys, and here we go. Like, that would have just worked out well.
Speaking of tonight's show, we will have Richard Freeman on. That's going to be one of my questions, honestly. I'm like, hey, dude, I was driving on I-40. How far is your little place of heaven in Oklahoma at? Where is it at? And then we got Lonnie Grimm. Now, many folks, you may not know who Lonnie is. Lonnie is a dude that knows his stuff. I got to chat with him when he was at PDRA, and I'm like, yeah, this dude knows his stuff. And he's been around for a while. He knows what he's talking about. And we're going to have a good conversation with him on a lot of things, I'm sure, but we're going to talk about that Factory experimental class coming this year as an exhibition class.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, what you talked about that with Lonnie, I got the chance to meet him at the first Door Slammers that I went to, and we kind of I knew the name, I just didn't know the face to the name. And we sat and talked, and then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm this person. And I was like, wait a minute, like, pause, time out, as I always say, pause, time out. That's you? But it's just the people that we have in motorsports, they're normal people. You can see them every day. You can see them, out and about, and you would not know, who a lot of the back factors are of our sport, and who, put a lot of time and effort into it. And like you were talking about, Lee, there about the long days. People are always like, oh, Sam, is that really work? Yeah, it's work, but I enjoy being at the racetrack.
I'm not sure when I've seen you work at track, but
see, exactly, because I just make it look so smooth. It's not work. But a lot of people think, Lee, that you just show up and you do what you do, and then that's it. They don't understand that the time that goes into editing, the time that goes into going through, 900 pictures after one day or 700 pictures after one day and trying to find those 20 pictures for this person and 10 pictures for this person. And I don't want all my pictures to look exactly alike. So you're looking at your social and everything. There's a lot of back work that goes into it. So, I mean, Definitely. I know you and I could talk, we could have a whole show of media content. But that's
with Lonnie too. He's somebody that, people love to say, especially with the NHRA, they're at the top. We like to knock the people at the top, whoever they are. There are statements like the NHRA doesn't know what they're doing. Well, to say that and have Lonnie Grimm in the same room would just be an asinine statement. He does know what he's doing. And I think that is evident with him being on board and him there and the team. That look at the parity that developed in Pro Mod toward the end of the year. That's something I want to ask him. And not to mention, what the heck does his title actually mean? Like NHRA National Technical Director. That's a lot of words, dude. Woo!
So maybe he's the guy that I can push the buttons with the changing, since he's the National Tech Director or Technical Director. Maybe he might be somebody that I can be like, hey, can we change the name, Mr. Technical Director?
Right. Yes.
To my beloved professional modified.
Well, Michael asked this question: will testing be streamed on YouTube? And I'm sure we're going to get this through the broadcast. And it is a what answer to that, Sam?
Yes, it's going to be streamed. Yes. Go now.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm amped up on a little Monster Energy like always, guys, and then a little all-natural Snapple tea, peach flavored. What about you, Lee? I saw you sipping on some. What do you got?
This is brought to you by Choice Hotels, their Choice Coffee, room 200.
You shouldn't have now all the fans are gonna, that are in your area are gonna come knocking on your door at 1, 2 in the morning. Lee, can I get your autograph?
I hope that doesn't happen. But if they really wanted my autograph, I would, but they might be disturbed by the snoring before they come to the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring. Well, I can't. I don't want to spill those beans yet. Should I announce that news yet, Lee? Now, why not? Yes, everyone. The band is getting back together. I'm gonna say this: the band is getting back together. Lee and I will be at a racetrack very, very soon together. It's been a while.
It has been.
But it's been a while. It's been too long. We went to PRI together. Well, not together, but we went to PRI. We were there together. We had fun. But the band is getting back together. We need a little bit more cowbell.
Too much fun.
There's never too much fun, Lee.
Yeah, right.
Never too much fun.
Right.
Like next year, we're going even harder next year.
Going harder. But look, CompetitionPlus.tv is going hard, definitely on the live streaming. It will be streamed, and from what I understand with Bobby, you're going to have interviews, and there's going to be dead time field with people yakking it up about the sport and dragging people on camera. So I think it's going to be a great presentation there at the Pro preseason NHRA test.
Are we invited to that party or what?
I'm going to crash it every now and then in either way.
All right.
So
okay. All right. Let's see what else. Someone said I'd be scared to ride with Richard. See, okay, we shouldn't even dive into this. We should wait till he's on the show. But Richard, you guys have to understand, Richard is his own person. He's very, very family oriented, and he's not a scary person. A lot of people think Richard is a scary person. He's not. He's like, honestly, hands down, after spending a week with him last season when they had the, what was it called? The World Door Slammers. 2 years, actually, I got to spend some time with him. And really a great guy. You just have to get across that red tape line. And then once you make it across there and he lets you in, then you're good.
Right. I think it's funny, an interview with him. I remember the first time I interviewed him at Pomona, I asked Erica, I said, Erica, does Richard do interviews? And she's like, yes. I'm like, well, can I get him on camera? I'd like to talk to him. It was about the first World Door Slammer Nationals. And she's like, well, he says a certain word a lot. And the whole time he's on camera, you could tell he's like, and he was fighting it, but he did a great job, and be interesting tonight. And look, I will say, I love the interview he gave to Drag Illustrated on the Wes Buck show months ago now, after the, cheating or the laying down incident, whatever you want to say. He was very candid. He was honest, and he was clear, and he was not bashful nor ashamed, and upfront about it, and like, hey, this is how it is. This is how we're going to do it. And I can appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to our conversation with him tonight for sure. I want to bring up this comment from Mike. Mike says, Lee, you should have some Rodak coffee, not that hotel crap. You know what? I really should be having some Rodak coffee, or Gearhead Coffee there, who support me. But I will say, Marvin Rodak, if you're out there watching, hey, thanks for what you do in the sport. I know you sponsor WFO Joe Costello, and his podcast, and I know you also are a big supporter of Funny Car Chaos. Thank you for that. And I'm sure you're supporting elsewhere, and I'm not even sure about it. But thank you for what you're doing in the sport. And I definitely have got to try some Marvin Rodak coffee soon.
Hey, maybe that might be the coffee company that actually gets me to drink that stuff. Because me and coffee, you guys want to see a wild chipmunk on the show? You guys think I get fired up and amped up? Monsters, I can go to sleep after drinking those things. You give me some coffee. I've drinking coffee one time, Lee. One time in the last 5 years. I was driving to Minneapolis to go and catch a flight. Actually, to go to Florida that first year. Boy, I drank coffee leaving probably, I don't know, it was 4 hours outside of Minnesota. I thought I was having a heart attack. I couldn't stop fidgeting. I couldn't stop moving. I had the music blasting, the windows down. It wasn't snowing, but it was freezing cold here in March. I legit pulled over on the side of the road and had to take 5 laps around the car. So no coffee from this guy.
Oh,
the
wow.
geezer.
Wow. Roger Richards.
He is 800 miles from Wild Horse right now as he speaks.
Hey, I'm about that far too.
Oh, see, you should just jump in with him.
I should. I bet he went 20 and I went 40.
Yeah, because he's trying to take the younger route and you're trying to take the older route. See what I did there?
Right. I just had never been up through 40, and actually the GPS said it was a little shorter. So I enjoyed the ride today through Arkansas and Oklahoma, and right now here in the panhandle of the great state of Texas.
Arkansas. Anyway, Lee, another thing about the live stream show, it is being brought to you by a very new partner in the motorsports industry. That is who?
Well,
Connect.
I just saw Mike said that I'm going to get some coffee at a Chaos event, so I went. I blanked out.
That's messed up. So you get coffee and I don't. See how it is. That's fine. That's fine. Yep. Richard took 20.
Yep. There you go. He took the more southerly route.
Did I miss it? Are you both going to... Travis, dude, this guy needs to be on this show soon. Very, very soon. I'm talking very soon. Or I'm just going to have him on my show. And Lee, you can come and intertwine that. But yes, we are both going to be there.
We should have him on this show, and he put it out there on social media. He will actually, I think, make a few passes, not during the regular testing, but later on. I'll just say that. But yes, Travis, I will be there all days. And Sam, I think you're getting there, Friday, from what you're kind of been alluding to?
Yeah. So I will be there Friday. I don't know exactly what time. I'm going to try and leave early. It's about a 5-hour drive from San Diego. I fly out in the morning for some wedding stuff that's going on down there. And then I just figured, you know what? I might as well just come up and show my face to the sport that I love and be at the track. So, yes, I'll be there Friday. I'll be there all day Saturday and then Saturday, I think it's at dusk or something that everyone kind of stops. So then I'll head and get on a flight and come back to the frozen tundra. It was warm today. It was like almost 40 degrees. I was like, okay, this is nice. And I looked at the weather for San Diego, and it's 80, and I'm like, baby. All right, we gotta talk some drag racing, Lee. We're just rambling because life is just good. Like, life is good when
Life's
two guys
good.
can get on here and ramble about absolutely nothing because racing's about to happen. Like, we don't have to sit here and talk about this storyline or anything. Like, racing is happening. How was your off season, Lee? How was your off season?
Off season was great. Off season was productive. I am looking forward to the kickoff of this season. Hey, Robert Height's race rig and tech trailer passed me on 40. It's good to see race rigs rolling again to the track. So it's good.
Like this week in social media, I think all my Facebook posts have really just been about like racing and everything that I see on my page. But it's like the first day of school. Everyone's like, the trailer's packed. Oh, we're closing the doors. We're pulling up.
Yes,
it's like the first day of school. Everyone's like, on the road, this and this.
Yes,
it's like, this is what it like that video of the guy standing in the shop and the race rig driving off is like posting, this is my 19th day of school. I've done this, and this. I'm in this class. But so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see what we're
Sam,
expecting with these new teams.
I think most of the people with those videos, they're just happy to get out of the snow that Indianapolis has got just smattered with.
Dude, they got hammered. Like that. Well, that's what we call hammered with snow. Like, that's bad. Like, we didn't even, the snowstorm that came through here, we didn't get it like they got it. Like, that's bad.
Yeah, right. Jeff, I was doing 70, and
they walked past me like he was.
I'm sure they were doing about 78. Yes, the tech trailer guys probably aren't happy with me. I was holding them up, but I couldn't get my shades on quick enough, or I was going to stare at them.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, this is what it's all about. Like, we talk about having this off season and funny season and just what drag racing has meant to us, you know what I mean, this year and the storylines that we've had. But I mean, we've got a lot of good storylines coming up right now. I mean, you've got, Ron Capps coming out as his first year. You've got, Ron Tobler coming back.
Ron Tobler, I love what Mikey says. Allen and Doug's best shot at the championship. It may very well be to date. But remember, who was with Doug that last chance he was that close? It was Ron Tobler. And now where is he at, JFR? I mean, I think we are poised for one of the best, if not the best, year of drag racing, as long as people will admit it. Look,
that's the thing. We won't,
you can't change nostalgia. It is what it is. Appreciate it. But live in today and be a fan for today and say, hey, this is pretty doggone good. Like, look, if you complain about funny car racing after last year, what is wrong with you?
Go eat broccoli.
What more do you want?
But that's the thing, Lee. Like, I said this a couple of weeks ago. No matter how good it is, we're always going to compare it to something. I mean, that's life. Like, that's life. You can literally have the best steak that's in front of you, but the mashed potatoes could be a little too garlicky or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is horrible. Because you're always comparing it to something else. And I think every year we have to go into it with a fresh mindset and say, look, this is what we think can happen, and let's see if it can happen.
Right.
Like,
and I think we're looking at a year that some of the greatest things could very well happen. But on an interesting note, some news may very well be dropping on CompetitionPlus.com tomorrow of a professional modified driver. And
put some respect on that name. Put some respect on that name.
He is a tricky individual, and he's going back to a brand in which he started with, Sam.
Well, you see Cap, what happened? I had to put some more gear in that thing. Are you talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the tricky Ricky Smith?
Right.
The guru of knowledge.
Right.
Going back to Ford. He's going back to where?
Back to Ford.
Back to Ford.
Back to Ford.
Smart man.
And as Bobby says,
Smart
as I
man.
talk to him, he's like, this thing is red. Like, it's beyond red. It is red. So I can't wait to see what this car looks like.
Honestly, I think, okay, this is a prediction. I mean, not a prediction, a thing that I've had for years. Matt and Ricky both have always done this weird red combination. I don't know if that's like a pact between those two or what it is, but there's something going on there between those two. Father-son combination, but it's always been like a red, like hello red.
It has, definitely. Oh, also, don't want to forget, mention, well, on Competition Plus, we have those virtual fan votes of elimination. I hope everyone participated. It's a fun way to enjoy the off season and stay engaged with drivers. And also, if the teams are using it properly, it gives them something to hit the share button on their social media. But congratulations, Krista Baldwin, Top Fuel champion, Funny Car champion. Listen to this, Sam. Dale Creasy Jr., old Peanut, got it done in the fan vote. Dale Creasy Jr., and Roger Brogdon coming back to Pro Stock. He wins that championship. And I think it was Steve Johnson in Pro Stock Motorcycle on the fan vote in the Competition Plus eliminations. Dale Creasy, though, look at that. He wins the fan vote. It goes to show you, part-time guy. They don't always go deep into rounds, but they've got a solid car. They just cracked into the threes for the first time at Texas Motorplex, and he wins the championship, and he gets the vote. That shows you right there that these part-time guys like Zizzo, Creasy, Doug Foley, they're worth paying attention to and giving some airtime. They have fans out there for sure.
No, for sure. And Lee, we've talked about this off the air. There's a lot of storylines and a lot of interesting things about some of these part-time teams. Like, I don't think they get the love that they should because, like you said, they're a part-time team. But I think I'm telling you, if there was a chance to take one of these part-time teams and give them just a crack at it, I guarantee they would be in the hunt. I mean, you just look at how hungry they are when they're there. You know, they're nonstop. You know, they're one of the last people to leave when they're at the track. It just shows like there's a lot of different things that can go on with these part-time teams.
Right, and I think a great example is Doug Foley. Doug has put all chips. You know, he likes to play poker. He's put, I think, all chips in on the table. And Aaron Brooks, brand new car, moved the team back up towards Indy to be in that hub. They're expecting performance. And folks, I would definitely keep your eye out on that car with Protex on the side and see what it does with Aaron Brooks tuning it and it being a brand new Lucas chassis. It's going to be interesting to see out of the box what they're able to do. But that's the great storylines of testing. Who will be at the top in mile per hour and at the bottom in ET at the end of the day? Who's going to win testing, as it were, by the numbers? Who's going to shock us? That's what we're all looking at. And is it going to be Austin Prock with that new duo? Is it going to be Rob Flynn turning some magic with the Scrappers racing team? Glad that Rob found his place. Is Alan Johnson already going to show magic right away with the Coletta camp? That's why we want to see testing.
I think Alan's going to put up some numbers that we're like, okay. I think these are the three I think we're going to be shocked about. I think we're going to see something out of Alan Johnson. I think we're going to see something out of Austin Prock because we don't know. And Tobler's had time to be in the, around things last year. Stan says Brittany. I think they're going to still have their magic. I just hope that she, went to the off season and just kind of hung on a little bit. Batting practice was very good last year, but the batting average in the game wasn't so hot. And I'm going to leave that. That's the last time I'm going to mention that. So no, Brittany, no. Tobler, we're going to see something out of Tobler and Proc. Alan Johnson. I'm excited to see what Toyota's, not what the Supra bodies and everything like that. I want to see what that looks like on the funny cars, and if there's, I don't know. I think there's going to be some weird changes. You know what I mean? I hope there's no going way to the left or going way to the right or one way or another. But I really want to see that in person, and I want to just kind of know, okay, what's going to happen.
Testing is going to, again, this year, rolling into the 2022 campaign, is a year of so many questions. Unlike, I think, any year that I can remember. There may be years going back into the 80s, but I cannot remember a year like this and what we're about to experience of, yes, so many questions, us wanting answers. And I don't think this test is going to solve everything, and all those answers are not going to come to fruition. I remember, and I thought it was first time seeing it, I was like, wow, I was kind of surprised. But you go back to the last time we had a normal kickoff to the season, so Pomona, Arizona, that was 2019. Well, they did testing right after the Arizona Nationals, and they had just been there. So teams want to get it figured out. Teams want to gel. Teams are going to keep testing. Teams are going to figure it out. That's what they're going to do, even after the Arizona Nationals. And look, no telling what they might do at Pomona. Even in Pomona might very well be somewhat of a wrench thrown into the system, because it's a improved track with the grinding that occurred and the polishing. So we're looking at a new surface at Pomona at the Fairplex. Oh, no telling what we're going to experience there.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of excited, really, just to kind of see the surface and what's going to change for everyone, because for years you get used to racing at at what it used to be, and now you have to change everything up. Seeing some comments coming in here. Drag Race Central, we got this one up. Toyota treats NHRA like a prestigious as a F1. I honestly have heard this. You see the things that they're doing, and everyone talks about this. I wonder if there's a way that we can take it to that level. I think if we are able to take NHRA to the next level, and whatever that that next step is for NHRA, it's going to be better. I think it puts more eyes on the sport. It puts more people wanting to be a part of our sport and what it is. So I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a negative thing to want, better for the sport that we love. So yeah, why would you not want that?
Look, Toyota is setting a great example on how a OEM can be involved and should be involved. I wish Chevy and I wish Ford and I wish Dodge were doing just as much as Toyota is, frankly. But Dodge may be the one that is the next step up from the other ones that I mentioned, but Toyota's on a whole nother level. They're doing cross-pollination. It was great to see Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, and other drivers at the track. You had Kyle Busch sit in J.R. Todd's funny car, and they warmed it up. That stuff needs to happen. That cross-pollination, that cross-exposure needs to happen, because I really think a lot of motorsports fans are motorsports fans in general, but sometimes they've never encountered another motorsport, and they don't go out and search on their own to be, as it were, a Renaissance fan. When I growing up in the South, it was super late models on dirt or on asphalt, mini stocks, and drag racing. That was kind of it. there's very few places where there were modifieds, either on dirt or on asphalt. But you go up the north, like New York, and I was shocked at the amount of motorsports that they had when I lived up there in tractor pulling, drag racing, snowmobile events, and the dirt track racing and the asphalt racing. So if you become exposed to it, I think that is great. And look, for a brand like Toyota, well, the more that you keep exposing your brand, the better it is. And I think we have to give them a pat on the back. They are supporting this sport tremendously, unlike it seems any of the other OEMs. Not that they're not supporting, but Toyota seems to have taken it to another level.
No, I think they definitely are. Before we bring on our guest, Lee, I kind of want to switch it up. Have you been paying attention to this sick week?
A little bit, yes, a little bit. Look, I love the drag and drive, drag enduro events that happen out there. Hot Rod Drag Week, Rocky Mountain Drag Week. I believe Corey Stamper, I think I said this last week or either on my show, Corey Stamper.
Looks like Lonnie's showing us. Lonnie's showing us pictures right now. It looks like he's there. If you're looking down in the street,
he might be.
He's walking outside. So Lee, go to commercial because obviously he's got something going on. So go to commercial and then we can bring him on because he's got cars in the background. So I think he's there. So
he might be. I mean,
now
he's a. Yeah. He is. Yes, break. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you to Weldon Pumps. We're going to say thank you to them right now. If I can find that particular commercial, it's right here. Thank you, Weldon Pumps. Get pumped. Lonnie.
He's muted.
Uh-oh.
Why is he muted?
Oh, there he is.
There.
Nope. Now we lost you again. What's going on?
He's not muted anymore.
Do you got me now?
Oh, we got you. We got you, Lonnie. There you go. We're going to your full screen. Show us off. Show it off.
Look at that. Live from Sick Week.
So this is so what's going on with the car?
It's broken.
Broken.
No trans brake.
No trans brake.
And I'm eating rocker arm bearings at a alarming rate. And my oil looks like pixie dust.
Pixie dust. We've got a rocker arm. We've got an internal trans brake. That's just one car. There's 375 of them here. There is hoods up and tools all over the parking lot. It's a really cool event. I was blessed that NHRA allowed me to come down and attend this event and further relationships with this community of racers, which is a lot of what you'll see in 2022 with NHRA reaching out to other race communities that feel like that they haven't been a part or NHRA don't care about them. I'm here, obviously, in my position with NHRA. I'm a representative of them, but also here helping this event make sure that it goes every day pretty smooth. We had a decent day at Bradenton for kickoff first day. They canceled, scrapped activity today at Orlando due to weather. And so everybody drove on up to Gainesville. We start out at a blustery 37 degrees tomorrow morning in Gainesville. And so the live stream may be a little bit late, 10 o'clock or so getting started till we got a little bit of heat in the racetrack. But Tom Bailey's out, dropped a valve. But Steve Morris brought this absolutely stunning 9-year project, and I'm fixing to show it to you. Right there.
The wagon. Yes.
Yeah, this thing's been 9 years from thought to finish, and it's absolutely stunning. There's a ton of cars here that is absolutely beautiful. There's some of them that you're not for sure it's going to make it 2 or 3 blocks down the street, but they're having a super amount of fun. And some of those actually complete the week without working on their car at all. So again, just a great community of racers. We're very excited about NHRA in 2022 and everything and everybody that we're going to try to make proud to say that they are a part of the NHRA or a membership or a license or a chassis cert, instead of looking at it like, oh, well, they just want some more money. So we got great things going on for 2022. And this is a good way to get your blood pumping and see cars go down the racetrack. Obviously, starting really tomorrow into Thursday really is kickoff there at Phoenix. The protest session gets kicked off at Phoenix, and there's like 37 nitro cars on the schedule there for a test session. There's a number of pro stock teams going out. Bradenton said they've got some pro stockers that are going to try to test here before we get back on Friday. Orlando's got a couple things in the works this week, so people are getting the cars together, getting ready. Pro Mod is super excited about the screw blowers being in Pro Mod. Obviously, a lot of people look at it that the rule package for the C rotor screw in Pro Mod is still a little oxymoron, meaning that everybody's ran screws at 75%. Everybody's run screws up around 2,700 pounds. They've run it in all fashions. They've just not run it with all that package together in 390 gear. But it has been tested. We have some on-track testing that happened here a couple weeks ago. We believe that the package can show up and qualify. It's not going to be at the top. It wasn't designed to come in and be at the top, but it's not going to go back in the trailer unqualified. So it has a lot of promise. We'll move forward in 2022. Obviously, that'll find itself to be adjusted in weight or other parameters. We hope to just be able to remove some weight from them and get those things right up in the middle of the mix. So there's Pro Charger teams that have been working really hard trying to find some horsepower because they've been in the front for a long time. We made some rule adjustments through 2021 and kind of got those guys back in the realm of where they needed to be. We saw nitrous cars qualify number 1. We saw turbo cars win events over the course of the year. We saw roots blowers in the final round. And obviously Pro Charger is still a strong segment and a great combo. So, and they were doing really well too. So I think moving into 2022, Pro Mod probably hasn't looked better than it does. For
minus one thing.
What's that?
We need to change the name of Pro Mod.
What you want it?
Professional Modified. And it needs to be added on Sundays with the professional classes, and they need to be on the stage. Lonnie, that is my goal for 2022. They need to be treated just like the other categories, and they need to be on the stage on Sundays.
So I can, and this is not an excuse for them not to be part of Camping World or whatever. This was presented to all the Pro Mod team owners, drivers, people that actually spend the money, open the checkbook, and to make that happen. They, as a group, those are mostly business owners. There's a few of those that are very high level professional racers. That's all they do is wait for us to run Pro Mod again. But for the majority of the group, they're business owners. They got businesses at home and families to support, and a lot of people counting on them. So they don't want to run a 22 or a 20 race schedule. So the limited schedule is their selection, not ours. The other side of that is that I too stand where you are. I mean, I bleed Pro Mod racing. I bleed small tire racing. I bleed this style community. The nitro guys, I love just the technology and stuff that's into it to pour some fuel in that thing and make 11,000 horsepower and control it and go A to B. They're very exciting as well. The Pro Stock has new competitors, new faces, both men and women coming into the class as new faces there. Some big personalities, which I think will be exciting. But I'm with you as the more that we can move forward and move Pro Mod back into the main stage, I'm all about that. I mean, I love that category. Again, there's a ton of personality there as well. And I think that's all it takes. It just takes a little bit of time and the right people in front of the microphone and make it interesting. And not that the ones that haven't been given time have made it interesting before, but again, as long as they all continue down that same road, they got to build themselves on the social media side as well. We all know how that goes these days. And so again, rivalries. You know, we go back in the days of the Charles Carpenters and the Ricky Smiths, and there was always rivalries, and there still is live rivalries that happen in the nitro ranks. Right now, you say that there's rivalries in Pro Stock, but it's more team segmented. Everybody is bullseye on Erica, but still yet that's the elite team. And then you have the Hendricks supported Greg Anderson team. So, and then there's other segments within there that are other teams that are very beneficial and run really well and very competitive in Pro Stock. And Pro Mod just needs a little grit. It is a grit type class. And, but it needs a little grit, needs a little rivalry. And those things, those guys are very professional. And I love all those guys. I'm very, very big supporter of Pro Mod.
Lonnie, it's good to hear that you're reporting the NHRA thinking about, hey, our umbrella is in fact probably bigger than we ever imagined and thought. And even kind of getting back, it sounds like what you're describing is almost kind of getting back to the roots of the NHRA. The NHRA was like, whatever you're racing, we want you to do it safely in this package and way, and here's how you can do it. And drag racing has diversified so much. Well, the NHRA can go anywhere and say, hey, this is how you can do it safely.
And that's a big deal, where we say that this is how you can do it safely. We can go in, we can educate, we can be their partner. The whole deal is it comes down to how you treat your customer. And customer service these days, when you pick up the phone and try to get a hold of somebody and talk through a problem you got, and I'm not talking just NHRA, I'm talking about life in general, somebody decent on the other end of the phone in customer service that's knowledgeable, personable, they're very hard to find. And so that's one of the things that I think that the success over years, it takes a whole team. Not one person is going to fix it. It didn't break overnight. It's not going to fix overnight. But as long as we get the whole NHRA team, and 2021 seemed to be a step forward in the right direction. A lot of things that people had been frustrated about in the past seemed to subside, and there were more smiles at the racetrack, people having fun. And truly, at the end of the day, in my department, I just want to make sure that I give you the opportunity to have the time of your life. At the same time, I want to be able to know that I send you home to your family very safe after your event's over. So, it's really all about just continuing to build relationships. And I wear the hat in all the places that I've been. I seem to wear the hat pretty well and be consistent, that if I have to tell a guy no, that's not a problem. I can do it as firm as need to be done, but still yet I can educate him of why the answer is no. And most of the time at the end of those conversations, they understand.
So I got to ask, I mean, with your title being the technical director and everything like that, what is that one area of your job where you find, drivers or teams trying to cut that one corner and you're like, come on, man. Like, why are you guys doing this to me? You know I'm going to catch you. Why are you trying to do this?
So hey man, it's for years the NHRA rule book's been built around how do you find the gray area. The easiest way to say there's two educational values I'll give to the NHRA rule book. Starts with a capital, ends with a period. There's three answers to that question. If it's a sentence in the rule book, yes, no, or doesn't apply. The rule book is on white paper and black ink, so we'll say it's very black and white. I was a racer. I was a racer in NHRA for 12 years. And there was a lot of times that we always searching for the gray area of the rule book. But at the same token, we felt like that it was pretty solid in 2021. And we hope that guys are following and staying on level playing field in 2022. But we got our eyes wide open. The one thing is that we try to the tech department always, no matter what organization it is always behind the technological advances. So as long as we stay up to speed in educating ourselves with and have good relationships with the companies who are producing the product, at least if we fully understand the product, then or the component, then we really should be able to pick out when that component is being used in a unfavorable manner. So again, it's an educational process, and we try to put the fear of God in them, but some of our racers, some of our teams got stone cold blood. So it is our job to make sure that at the end of the day, everybody feels like they had a fair opportunity to win an event or qualify well, and that the other team in the other lanes being looked at and scrutinized just as much as they are.
See, Sam, it's just like that person that had all those street smarts that becomes a cop, and they're a better cop for it. See, Lonnie, Lonnie done it.
Man,
well, Lonnie, look, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, it's absolutely. It's very humbled that a year ago I was able to step into this role. It was a very tough decision because I was going to leave some organization and a lot of great relationships and friendships that had been built over the years and building up other great events, and still I'll do anything I can to help them continue to succeed. But very blessed and humbled to be over at the NHRA. Was very excited about 2021. The tech team on the tech side, I think people are seeing more approachable tech guys with that have some knowledge and not near as much. And I'm talking old school NHRA seemed to be a little bit of the polished badge, and it's just because I said so. And again, this day and time, there's a right and a wrong way to talk to the customer. And I think that if we all kind of get on that same page, I'm all about high-fiving when somebody comes off the end of the racetrack and he pulls over to the winner's side. I'm so happy for him. I'm over high-fiving and great job. And then I turn around and I've been in that line on the other side that just gets a little bit of contingency and a little bit of notoriety, and you finish second. And I have shed some alligator tears this year for those ones over on that side as well, because I know how that feels. But again, if you do your job with and you have some passion, and again, there's long days, there's long weeks, there's back-to-back events. It can get very monotonous and trying, and it can get very stressful at times. Again, just smile and do your job, and make sure that you just try to make tomorrow better than yesterday.
So, Lonnie, you're there at Sick Week, and there's many other enduro drag and drive events. Could we ever see a fully NHRA sanctioned event for that?
I'm not saying as we roll through 2023 and into 2024, anything that NHRA is going to do in the future is not to be in competition with any of the great events that are long-standing or getting started or first annual. It really would be a customer appreciation thing, and there is all kinds of talks on the table of what we may do in the future. Again, some of the steps of attending some of the other events in different capacities is, I think, a great thing at the end of the day for NHRA, and we have a lot of support at the top of the food chain in NHRA that really wants to make our customer base where everybody is happy. And I was that proud 15, 16-year-old kid. I tell the story that 16 years old, I thought the coolest guy in town was the guy with the NHRA logo decal on the back window of his dually. And what made him cooler is if he had a race car gas can with a spout hanging out the bed of the truck. Would follow him around, finally see him at the speed shop, meet him, introduce myself. I mean, I was that kid that thought that was the coolest decal in town. The 15 to 40 group now is it's different, and you got to get things in place that interest them. For a long time, NHRA has just continued to improve, but continue down the same path, and we'll continue that path, and that path is going to get better as we go. But also opening the doors and shrinking the fence is, I say, NHRA is like Augusta if you play golf. It's a very private, you feel like it's a private country club, it may be a private country club. It's got great fairways and great greens. I just wanted you to know that anybody can come get a tee time. So it's so again, it's open, very open to the public, and that's the way we want to proceed and move forward. And we've got some stuff that we've been working on for the last 7 months. We hope to announce it at SEMA. We didn't. We hope to announce it at PRI. There's rumors been flying around. I think some great things are coming over the next month or so that'll finally get announced, that will have a pretty big impact in the streetcar community. And we've been working through the 2022 rule book to kind of clean it up and make things that a little easier. Obviously, there was some amendments made in Pro Mod to help crossover customers from one organization to be able to come over and try a event or 2 or 3 events. I only invite them to the first one. If you've not been here or not been here in a while, come back, check this thing out. And again, that's really how we grow the whole sport, not just one category, but all of them.
And so there was talk about, someone asked a question a little earlier about no prep in NHRA racing. Yeah, you can go ahead and speak on that. Is there an idea of them doing that? I'm trying to find the comment here. Here it is. What about no prep and NHRA? Could you expand? Is all it says.
So it's not a big secret. Most of the people that, and I'm not a Facebook or social media influencer by no means. There's a number of people that follow me and where we go and what we do and like to see the cool stuff. And I'm very humbled by the things that we've been able to do over the past years. It's no secret. I've been involved with No Prep Kings and their events for a long time. There's a vast difference between we scraped it to bare concrete or just ground it yesterday and there's your no prep surface, to we're just not going to put any more glue down. Obviously through other no prep events, we see that there is still a lot of performance on a no prep surface. So I will never say no. They could, but again, remember, NHRA was built on safety. And so some of the frustrating things for people outside the NHRA or race outlaw tracks and show up at a track that has some technical aspect or, checking helmets, seatbelts, and driver suits. And, people are, I can't believe my seatbelts. I just put them in and they're 2 years old and I can't run with them. And, there's some great test data as why that is what it is. For the guy that stores his car very well, he gets frustrated that he doesn't understand it. For the guy that leaves it on his open car trailer in Phoenix, Arizona, and 120 degrees, those belts may not last 2 years. So 2 years is kind of the deal, but people get frustrated because of the safety rules. But at the end of the day, if we know we send you home to your family or your friends to have dinner, then we did the job correctly. And so for the ones that have been involved in incidents over the years, and you think about the Lyle Barnetts of the world and different guys that have survived some pretty horrific crashes, and know that now they're very big proponents of the safety requirements. And a lot of people go above and beyond what's required. If I'm only required to wear a 5, I'm wearing a 15. They don't tell me I have to wear undergarments, but I am. It's just buying you time in the event of an incident. And those safety rules, again, NHRA is really big on safety. So to look at a completely no prep event, it's, again, we want to be able to send people home safe. There's enough incidents on prep tracks as well. So I'll never say never.
All right, Lonnie. Well, look, we had a great conversation on so many different things, but we were bringing you on to talk about the new exhibition class coming to the NHRA, factory experimental. So, give us the quick and dirty rundown on what this new class is, what it will be, and does anybody got a car already finished or not?
So let's talk Factory X. Factory X is going to be super, super exciting. The original announcement boasted a lot of excitement, a lot of talk. A lot of cars went on order. We have confirmed orders from a lot of the major builders. We have confirmed orders from mom and pop shop orders. It's taken a little bit to get all the OEMs on a part number list with all the components. That's all been managed, so everybody is getting components now without a problem. As far as brand new cars, there is a brand new car with a roof, quarters, and doors, tubing done, waiting to decide what they want to do for a front cap. I think most people are going to go with the OEM style front cap for now, because the composite is very difficult to come by. Nobody's building one in a stock dimensional format. So I think we'll see a number of cars come together with OEM body parts for the front cap, and you can skin them down to just a little of nothing. The weight difference is not entirely a problem. The 2650 for a minimum weight is easily achievable. So is there a car ready? Yes. Is it all the Factory X car it can be? No. It is a tube chassis late model 5th gen Camaro that already has has supercharged engine, 5-speed, 6.3 bell housing, has been to the racetrack. There has been 2 different, we'll call them Top Sportsman Pro Stock style chassis that have dropped the supercharged engine in with a 5-speed, took it to the racetrack just to kind of see what the performance level looked like or what it was going to be. We included Factory X. If there was a car built today and you were entered in Pomona in Comp Eliminator, you can enter Factory X in Comp Eliminator in 2022. The exhibition formats, we look to do 4 of those from mid latter in the year towards the end of the year, which gives us an opportunity to get 3 or 4 or 5 cars built and out. Talking to builders at least once every week, once every other week. Once every other week would probably include most all the builders that are working on a Factory X car. So there's orders from overseas. There's Puerto Rican orders on the order board at a couple shops. Right now we know there's 17 cars on order, confirmed.
Hey, that's cool.
It is cool. It's Factory X came about where it's and the idea of Factory X was not to replace Pro Stock. It was there was really no good stepping stone to get to Pro Stock. If you didn't run Comp Eliminator, put a shifter in a Comp Eliminator car, there's really no good way. You could go to some driving schools and kind of get some hits there, but really it's I've asked friends of mine, how do you get your pilot's license? They said, buy a plane. That's the fastest way, buy a plane. So in Pro Stock, it's the fastest way is either rent a seat or buy a car. So Factory X is a nice stepping stone towards Pro Stock. If does it become the next Pro Stock? I don't know. I think the fans will eventually make that decision. But to see this truly goes back to race on Sunday, sell on Monday. It looks like the same car they drove to the racetrack, bought their ticket, walked in the gate. And again, I'm a big lover of Pro Stock. When I was young, I had the opportunity to work on many Pro Stock teams, never burned any bridges there, made a lot of friends there. And so I love that class as well. It's a nationally aspirated 500 inch, all the technology you can imagine. Sorry for the aimless in the background. It's not coming to get me though. So
JT must be at the hotel near you guys.
Oh wow! Wow.
JT is close by, so I'll text him. I'll text him after this just to make sure he's okay. I saw them guys. I saw that whole crowd. Carpenter and West and JT and all of them was. I didn't make it. I made it to Bradenton about almost 4:00 in the morning. Slept an hour and a half. Went out, started tech day for day one Sunday, and there was a little party over TBM Brakes over at Freedom Factory, and Sunday night for all the participants. And I was wiped out. I didn't make it over there, but JT said it was a good time. So anytime JT says it's a good time, it was a good time had. I talked to Doug Cook. He said they had great food, great drinks, and everybody did have a good time over there. So everybody's doing good here. A lot of great spirits. a lot of excitement. The drag and drive community is alive and well across the country. I think the off season has got everybody's blood moving again and starting to warm up. And the sun's fixing to shine, and I think NHRA 2022 is going to be very exciting.
I think we're all looking forward to it. But you were talking a little stepping stone to Pro Stock. So our next guest is a friend of yours and someone that you know very well. So if you right now had to give an award to the one and only the Richard Freeman, if there's any stories you have or any way to, announce this guy before he comes on and before we go to a break, how would you give a warm invocation to Richard Freeman?
So my Richard Freeman bio is a guy that his heart and soul, his everyday, his everything is all about improving Pro Stock and what he's been able to do over the years. They run hard in any class that they roll a car out for, whether it's comp eliminator, super modified, whatever they may, a super stock car. His heart and soul is all about performance. He's a great competitor. A lot of times he will ruffle some feathers because he won't hold back. He'll tell you what he thinks. And in a lot of respect, that's good because you know where you stand. And, Richard and I have had some great conversations over the years. I hope to say he's never been super frustrated with me, but at times I'm sure he's rolled his eyes and we'll talk later. But again, a guy that has a heart of gold, works really hard to produce a very high level Pro Stock team and put people in the seats that can qualify up top, win a race on Sunday afternoon, and chase a championship at multiple levels. Got great business at home, got great family, and his name is Richard Freeman.
Lonnie, man, thank you. Enjoy the rest of Sick Week.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. We got some great guys going out to the protest session at Phoenix, and I'll pretty much leave Sick Week and head for Pomona. And really excited to see this tree drop at Pomona, send cars down the racetrack. That place got ground. It's baby slick smooth, and the team went out there and started prepping the racetrack before they moved over to Phoenix to get that test session going. They'll be back over there Monday afternoon, getting back on Pomona. So look for big things on the scoreboard at Pomona.
Awesome. Have yourself a good night, man.
Yes, sir. Have fun with Richard.
We'll do.
Oh, we will.
Well, Lonnie, great guy in the sport, and I love how he was putting it, take care of the customer and speak to the customer right. I think that's important for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he hit on a lot of great points, and he breaks it down, and a lot of people know that Lonnie is great for our sport. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see, but I think without further ado, Lee, I think it's time to bring on the person that I think a lot of people in our sport fear, but I just don't know why. Stay on his good side. Don't piss Royce off, because if you get that finger that goes like this, and that not today, don't even try and hang around. Just it's time to go. So I think without further ado, we break to a commercial and bring on the one and only, the Richard Freeman.
Right after the break.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
Mr. Richard Freeman, welcome to the Competition Plus Power Hour. How you doing tonight?
Good, guys. How are y'all?
Man, great. Hey, I was driving all day through your home state of Oklahoma on Interstate 40. So, are you north and south of that?
I'm south of it. I'm about an hour south of Oklahoma City.
There you go.
He's right near the old Tiger King's place. That's all you got to remember.
Right across the street.
Right.
See, like they saw the whole thing. They saw it before it was even on Netflix.
Yeah. And I'm sure Richard Freeman and the whole gang at Elite Motorsports is like, we're never going to live that down.
Exactly.
So Richard, I want to start this off. We have a personal relationship. I met you a couple of years ago down in Florida and everything. But a lot of people say that Richard Freeman is a mean guy, and that he's unapproachable and you can't talk to Richard. I see the smile on your face, but break that down. Like, I know you on race day and race week, you're focused, you've got your stuff that you need to get done. So why do people think that Richard Freeman is a mean guy?
Man, I don't know. I sure don't want to be mean. I don't even know where that would come from. Started at the bottom and worked my way up, and through great people have got to do what we dreamed to do. And I sure don't want to be unapproachable. I don't feel I'm that way. Brash at times, maybe. But so many times in my life, I've had it, felt like I've been on the bottom side of things. So, I've just learned to try to stay in my circle and sure want people to be able to approach me. That's for sure.
No, and
Go ahead, Sam.
Go ahead, Lee. Oh, I was just saying, your circle, like, you're surrounded by your family. Like, your elite is all family. Like, it doesn't matter which car it is, you have a family member that's working on one of those cars. So I think a lot of people don't realize that it's not that you're not being, antisocial or anything. You're there with your family. You guys are doing what you love. Like you said, you have your circle and you guys are together, and that's what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, our entire program was built around family. My brother and I started running Comp Eliminator back in together in 1995. Again, I didn't have all the things that I wish I'd have had. I tell people all the time, the Todd and Alan Patterson were my engine builders back in that day, and I couldn't afford to have their stuff, so I had to do other things, and so our deal is 100% about family, and everybody, all my employees are family. I mean, when we go on vacation, they get to go, and we do things as a group, and we feel like that's the right thing to do, and I think it's evident with seeing, I mean, we're going to have 8, maybe 9 cars at times this year, and I mean, I think that's just a testament to what we do and how we do things.
It definitely is, and thank you for what you've done in Pro Stock, because Pro Stock at one time, it wasn't looking that great, and yourself and a few others, y'all have invested so much into it, and it's very healthy now, and it looks like it's got a bright future ahead of it. And a lot of that goes back to you and your camp. I have to ask, though, why Pro Stock? Like, you could probably get more exposure with a nitro car, whether it's Top Fuel or Funny Car, or the no prep scene as it's growing. So why Pro Stock for Richard Freeman, the Freemans and Elite Motorsports?
Well, I think as a kid growing up, my father raced Pro Stock. I was too young to know it. Quit in 1980 when they went to 500 cubic inch motors. Just couldn't keep up with with the Bob Gliddens and Warren Johnsons and people such as that. And growing up, I always looked up to Warren and people like Mike Edwards and dabbled a little bit in it, before we got to the point where it was time for me to get out of the seat and put somebody in where you could win and do something on a regular basis, which is, when we brought first Ricky Jones and then Erica in, and we're starting the 9th season with Erica driving a car, and I promise you, when we started, everybody said that wouldn't last. So, and then with Jeg Coughlin and now TJ and Aaron Stanfield, Pro Stock was always a love of mine, and naturally aspirated. 5-speed. And, I tell people all the time, there's a lot of other things. Pro mod, we've dabbled in pro mod and had some success with Lyle there last year. And, but at the end of the day, the thing that I like about Pro Stock is it's a true team sport. Everything's got to be on time, on kill, and everybody's got to be in sync. And a lot of people don't realize that from looking to the outside. It's not just the driver. It's not just the crew chief. It's just not the engine builder. And just one of those components doesn't get you to the top spot. I mean, you got to have it all. And when we brought Erica on, things started to click. I call it magic. And the car got great. She's arguably one of the best drivers to ever step in the seat of a Pro Stock car, in my opinion. And then, we went through some downs, with the Dodge deal. And what I learned about the people that work for me is they're not quitters. And we stayed. Just the same people today that was there in 14 and 15, and the same people there in 16 and 17 when we struggled, and 18. And then you come back and win 2 championships in 19 and 20. And the competition is fierce. A lot of people, it's the elite and the KB deal, but there's other people out there. You got Chris McGahey and his son now that's driving, who showed last year that he's going to be good, already good. And, now you got the Carusos coming, and you got all these people. I don't know if everybody knows, but Jeremy Ray, a standout in Pro Mod, is coming back this year to be a part of our program, and going to run Pro Stock. Got a car at Haas's that he bought Tanner's 18 championship car, and buying engines, and bought a new truck and trailer, and doing everything right. He's going to be good. And so, we got the Quadras coming over, and all of that stuff is what I love to see. And you guys said it just a second ago, in 2000 and what was it, 16, 17, 18, we really struggled. We had, I would say, 12 really quality cars, not taking any away from anybody that did it part-time or whatever. But today, when we start in Pomona, there are going to be 16 cars that could qualify 1, 16, or DNQ. And I think that's another stick in the fire to say that, not only myself, my group, KB's group, all the people that are within our class who come together to make Pro Stock back again something that's just awesome, in my opinion. And as far as TV time or acknowledgement, from a fuel team or whatever, listen, I got friends that do that, love it, have no problem with it. But at the end of the day, we're Pro Stock fans, and we love it. And we feel like, to be honest with you, that Pro Stock is right today in as good a spot as it's been in years.
Definitely is. And, and you just talked about how your team is growing. So you always hear the question, KB or elite. And do you feel that Pro Stock and the way it's going right now is kind of following that footstep of what Top Fuel did with having bigger teams, having these quote unquote super teams? Do you think that's going to hurt Pro Stock, or do you think that only continues to help it grow?
That's a tough question. Here's what I'm going to tell you about, and it doesn't matter if it's Pro Stock or anything else. And this isn't taking anything away, but the advancements in technology have really put someone that wants to do it on their own. It's very difficult to do. So I don't know if I'm answering the question correctly, but I think it's a good thing, because what we offer in both my program and KB's program, and don't take nothing away from them, because they're as good, if not better, than us. They've been doing it a long time. The one thing I can say that I think I've done is to help KB kind of get out of the 1-2 car deal and figure out how to help these others do it. That's why Pro Stock is growing. So if one of you guys wanted to run Pro Stock, where do you get an engine? Where do you get a tuner? You got to be able to, tune the car. You got to tune the motor. And so that's the things that we offer. And I'm kind of in uncharted waters right now with even the Quadras. Probably I've took on a deal and did it with everybody saying that's not going to work, but we are working really hard. I'm not supplying them with power. That's Frank Iaconio stuff, but we're tuning the engine and working hand in hand with Frank. And so I think that's the kind of things that have to happen. Is some of these teams, we have to be able to not so much share all the information, but you don't want to see somebody fail that goes out and spends all that money, like a Jeremy Ray. He wants to race. He felt pro mod for him personally was a little bit dicey as far as he's got a business, he's got a family, and anything can happen, and it can happen in anything. But these cars are a little bit slower and a little more control. But just like him, he's a good racer, but he has to have help. And so that's the things that mine and the KB program and a Chris McGahey program and all those bring to the table. So I think it's a plus. I don't think it's a detriment, especially in Pro Stock.
So, Richard, on the aspect of like TV time, promotions, NHRA, I have said on air before, and I want to propose it to you now and get your thoughts, since you are so in depth in Pro Stock and that's your world. What if the NHRA, with Pro Stock having 18 races compared to the other races for the Nitro ranks and Pro Mod, what if they had a standalone door car national event where it was Pro Stock, Pro Mod, factory stock, and it was nothing but the door car guys? Do you think that would be successful? You think that's something that could happen? Would it be possible?
Absolutely, I think it can happen, and I'll take it a little step further, and I don't have a problem saying it because I've said it to the guys at NHRA. I don't think drag racing is a good TV sport, period. And this is just me, opinion, and that's like an asshole. Everybody's got one, but here's what I'll say: the reason shows like the Street Outlaws and No Prep Kings and all these different things have gotten so big, it's not so much about the racing as it is about the people. And so if I were the NHRA, I would probably take a little different approach, and I would have I like a live TV show. And I've brought this up several times to them, and I'll say it publicly. It doesn't matter to me, but 10 years ago, technology wasn't available like it is today. And today, you could put on a show, and without going into depth, you could have TV cameras or the things that rotate in your pits, and someone in someone's pit doing live interviews with the people that's doing the clutch, doing the transmission, the crew chiefs, the driver, myself, whoever it may be, and building those relationships between our fans and the people behind the scenes. At the same time, on that TV show over to the side or at the bottom scrolling would be the live show that's all day long, from the first car that takes the racetrack to the last car. And if you want to click over to the starting line, you can watch any class you want to. If you want to watch John Force, click on the icon. If you want to watch Elite Motorsports, click on the icon. KB, Billy Steve Torrance, whatever it may be. I've said this, all of us, every owner, every team have PR people. Well, if I were the NHRA, that is a income stream that is left at the and they love income, right? They're part of everything. Fine. They're the owners or the one putting on the race. But if you did that and these people worked either for NHRA alongside of them, because we all pay PR people for, PR, right? But what if we had a live show in our pit that anybody could watch? My family could watch back at home or whatever. So without going too far in depth, that's something that I think would make our sport grow so fast. TV's great. Listen, we get that, but we're not the NFL. And if you look at other motorsports like NASCAR, I think everybody would agree that they're struggling. That deal, they put all their eggs in the television basket, and I don't know. That's just my opinion. Again, I think there's other avenues to go down that road. And listen, if you've got millions of followers, guess what? Sponsors are coming. That's just the way it is. So instead of building the NHRA emblem, let's build the emblem of the competitors. So that's my opinion.
No, good word on that. Definitely. I do think of NASCAR, their YouTube channel, for example. A lot of times during a live race, you can go to their YouTube channel and you can follow the in-car camera of a single dude the whole race. You get the radio chatter and everything. And I've seen that, and I've thought to myself, why don't we see that with Richard Freeman and Elite Motorsports, or with a Nitro crew following them round to round? It'd be cool.
See, I think I left my notebook in Vegas in Richard's trailer. Because, yeah, I think he's been reading my notebook. It's got all the plays in it and everything.
I've been saying that for the last 4 or 5 years. Again, we as people, right, we tend to continue to try to do the same things that we've done for years. And I use this as an example. I grew up in the car business. And when I first got in the car business, the number one form of advertising was the newspaper classified ads. Now, you boys are too young to remember that, but there is no longer classified. It's horrible, right? So the internet changed that. And so TV today, young people, my daughter's 17, she doesn't watch TV. She watches her telephone. And so I think that somebody has to embrace that. And when they do, they'll find exactly all the answers they're looking for. And I'm not a computer telephone guru. I barely got on this damn show. It was tough for me to click on the icons, but I'm telling you that that's the people we're looking for. And, it's kind of for us in Pro Stock, there's a little bit of humor in where we were to where we are. And I can say that everything I told them that we needed to do, that we did, fixed it. And it can get better if we continue down the path. The 18 races to 24, it don't make a shit. It ought to only be 18 races for everyone. If you look, this is I don't want to say rich man sport, but it is private people, private money doing what they love to do. It is not a sponsor rich sport. It's just not.
And people say that Richard Freeman's a mean guy, but he's got all this knowledge stored up. And just, like I said, if you can get past his brother that's standing there at the red line telling you not today, telling you. But no, you said you're a businessman and you've dabbled in a few different areas. I don't really know. Some people frown upon one of, I think your very lucrative business right now that you've started. What are your thoughts on, like you said, continuing to move forward, continuing to do things? Elite Cultivations is another company that you started. How do you feel about that? And with NHRA, I mean, we've had liquor companies in NHRA, we've had tobacco companies in NHRA, but for some reason, other things are kind of frowned upon.
Well, so if you want to talk about the marijuana industry that I'm involved in, listen, I've smoked marijuana in my life. It's not something that's part of my life. That is a pure a financial business plan. But I can tell you, you can not like marijuana in that industry, but it's coming, and it will be federally legal within the next few years. And when it does, it's just one of those things. And I grew up in a household. My parents didn't drink, didn't do any of that, and marijuana was the gateway drug to hell, right? But I can tell you, I have story after story. I have people that work for me now in that business that have survived cancer and that will tell you to this day that if it wasn't for marijuana and what it did for them and allowing them to eat and drink to regain strength, that they would have never made it. I've got a girl that works for me that survived leukemia twice, and she is a young female that very bright, getting her nursing degree so she can help other people. But got another great friend of mine whose son, who was 18 years old, who's now passed, local banker, against the marijuana movement. But today, his son lived an extra year because of marijuana, allowing him to eat. So, listen, you can do anything in overabundance. I am a believer in the drug. I'm a believer in what it can do for you. And I absolutely am in the business. And, I've got a partner that buys everything that we grow, everything we do, that's never, ever had an ounce of alcohol in his body, and sure hasn't ever smoked marijuana. But he has a special needs daughter, and he had a father that went through some times, and he is a believer. So, again, I don't argue with people. Everybody has their own beliefs. I believe marijuana is here to stay. I believe it will be federally legal within the next 36, if not 5 years, 36 months to 5 years. And, we're going to continue on and enjoy what we do.
You have any follow up with that, Sam?
No, I mean, it's one of those things, like, and Lee, I know you and I have talked about it. We've talked about the different things that have, gone on in the sport. I mean, we've seen, like I said, we've seen tobacco companies, we've seen alcohol companies, but it just seems like there's a lot of things that are frowned upon about people's personal choice or whatever they want to do. I understand, the appearance may be there and you're going to have negatives there, but if someone wants to be a part of our sport, why are we neglecting them because of someone else's belief? Like, if that company wants to show support within our industry, I mean, isn't that what we're about? Growing and helping? You never know. And like Richard said, you never know who it may help in the long run.
Yep. Sam, don't forget Playboy and Hustler. Just saying.
I wasn't gonna go there. I know you like to talk about that and the Bible.
I'll go
and
there.
Everything you do.
Like
you like to do with John.
Has had everything. It's had everything. Just, I mean, I don't know. Just why? I don't know. I mean, Yep. Y'all should just put Tiger King on the car. Then that would have been the open door. Get everything else in too.
No kidding.
So to keep going down this road, we might as well ask you, Richard. I don't think we didn't have you on the show. The burn down that happened or the quote unquote burn down that happened in Pro Stock this year. Good, bad, indifferent. Was it good for the class of pro stock? It talked about it for almost 3 weeks. What were your thoughts on that?
Listen, here's what I say to that. First of all, I don't, our cars don't, when I say our cars, Erica, TJ, we don't race that way, but you got to understand when somebody straps in, they make the calls. And so, I think any press, positive or negative, is probably good. I don't think it was anything good or bad towards our class or anything like that. I thought it was funny myself, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters.
It happened.
Yeah, it happens. Shit happens. So whatever.
Right.
I mean, I didn't do it. I wasn't driving the car. I wasn't telling him to do that. And I'm sure on the other side, neither were the McGahays. I mean, they both chose to do what they did and got to live with the consequences. Who gives a shit?
There you go. So Factory X coming in, is there any interest from the elite camp of having that style of car along with Pro Stock? Or is it, look, we're all focusing on Pro Stock and we want to make sure we get a championship and edge out KB Racing?
No, I absolutely have an interest in it. I will build a couple of cars, but I'm going to let them get everything kind of refined a little bit. I'm not crazy about having a non-carbon front end, just for the ease of working on stuff. When you start hanging metal fenders and stuff like that, it makes it really hard to work on those cars. So I'm gonna let them get a little further along. I have ordered 2 cars, but nobody started because you can't. I mean, there's nothing available like I would want to build. If that answers the question, I would want to build a Pro Stock style car. I do believe it'll be a good class. I really do. I think that you'll see a lot of people jump in. I think there's a lot of people that run, competition eliminator or super stock that would like to race heads up. I think this may be a way for them to do that. But I do believe it'll get out of hand really quick. You take teams like mine, like KB's, they'll change the game really quick. And it's not because we're better. So I'm not saying that. It's just we got a lot of talent within the car, the clutch, all that stuff. There's technology that that's just it'll be tough to get on if you get some of those teams to get involved in that stuff.
Richard, you've been doing it a while. Why is that? Why do things get out of hand, like you mentioned? It happened with factory stock. They hit a point where it's like, oh, well, hey, this chassis is not designed to go that fast. We got to do something. Ford guys get hit and Dodge guys get hit, and there's all this bickering, and it's like rein things back in to the point where you got guys like buying it, stripping it, rebuilding the race car, and it's like that's what was not intended. Is it just the competitive desire, or just people that doggone smart, or what?
No, I think it's I think there's a multitude of things, but the biggest thing with classes like that is when you got different combinations. And it's just like Pro Mod. When you have turbochargers, pro chargers, blowers, I mean, nitrous, they don't make the same power in the same place. And so it's always a fight to try to create parity. And for example, the Chevrolet engine for factory stock, in essence, is probably the worst. Then you get to the Ford. When you're pumping air in something, how is a 2-valve per cylinder engine going to get on a 4-valve per cylinder engine? So, I think that'll be some of the problem. I was really trying to get Lonnie and them to do something in the FX class to where it was an engine combination, aftermarket, whatever stance it was. The factories have been really pronounced in that they don't have an interest. So I'm going to speak a little bit, again, opinion. I don't know why we continue to try to run these different factory engine combinations when the factories don't make them. For example, the Dodge, Schumacher makes those parts. It's not a factory part. It's a aftermarket part. So you got all these different people. This is an aftermarket sport. And listen, I'm sponsored by Chevrolet. I love the factories. That's what Pro Stock is. That is a factory class. But when you start these other classes, that's why it takes so much money. Listen, that factory shootout class is as expensive or more expensive than Pro Stock today. Now, some people do it cheaper, but I can tell you people like the Skillmans, the Stanfields, Joe Janik, and there's many more. Those are just people that I'm close to. They spend astronomical amount of money to race that class. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's just fact.
Yep.
All right, Richard, got some questions coming in from people, so we'll ask you these here quick before we start winding down the show. Any interest for you in the No Prep Kings racing?
Me, not so much. I have an interest in the class, doing it with somebody that's really good at it. I've done some stuff on trucks and trailers with people like Kai Kelly and Lizzie Musey. My partner in Elite HP, Marty Robertson, has he has a love affair with that deal. He wants to do it something fierce. Me personally, no. That's just not me. But I think it's huge, and we definitely want to have a part in it, whether it's building engines for someone. But listen, we're not good at that. Not saying we couldn't be good at it, but when you start parting the waters and trying to do too much different shit, I'd rather just hook up with somebody that does it and does well. Somebody like Ryan Martin. All of those guys they're great guys. I mean, Ryan's just right up the road from me, and someone like that, Kai and them. I forget the Disco Dean. We've done some stuff with him. I like all those guys, and I'd rather just be linked to somebody like that and let them go do that and sell stuff for Elite Motorsports.
Yeah, that's awesome. And speaking of that, it's kind of different. Paige is stepping out from the traditional Coughlin family way, and she's going that way. Was that a shock to you in any way, or did you see that coming?
No, it's just not a shock to me. I mean, again, those people are in the business of selling parts, and I think they have to. She had an interest in that, so they're going to support her and that. I haven't talked to them much about it, but they got a great guy that works for them in house, and he'll do a damn good job. And Mikey Reese, and that's, I believe, his family's car that they've started with, and I expect them to do well.
Richard, when will we see you back behind the wheel? It's been a little while.
Man, if I do anything this year, to probably maybe run a comp race or two here and there. But with the with the stable of stuff we got going on, I don't think there's much time for me to get in there. And listen, I can drive the car up and down the track, but I got so much shit on my mind. There's no hidden secret. I can't get off the clutch pedal like these younger cats and Erica can do. And I enjoy just as much watching all those guys and watching, young people get to do what they have dreamed of, just like I did. I've had my time, and I like it, and I've got to win races and do those things, but I'll live through them.
That's awesome. And I guess for me, Richard, I've always wanted to ask you this question, and whenever I'm around, I never really ask. But if you see the starting line video of the typical Richard Freeman, you get down into that great squat, but those two fingers are staring as you're winding Erica into the staging lane. So, I mean, is that like an old cooking recipe thing that you got going on, or where does that, I mean, that is just engraved in my mind. Anytime on NHRA TV, you can just see winding it in. So where does that come from?
Hell, I don't know. I think I just started it and it's just stuck, hell, I'm wanting her to get up there so I can stand up straight, nothing to it, it's just, it's something we've done from day one. And that's kind of always been my deal, and enjoy being up there. And, guys, I mean, for me, from 2014, I never dreamed of owning something of this caliber and having 7-8 teams, so sometimes you got to step back, and we take for granted what we do. And, back when you first started the conversation talking about me being unapproachable, I don't want people to, that's the reason we don't have ropes in front of our pits. As you guys know, we're about as open a group as you can get. You want to come to my engine shop, come in. There's nothing proprietary. Hell, we're just a bunch of rednecks just doing what we love to do. So, want to work on that a little bit, because I damn sure don't want people to think I'm unapproachable or mean. We're just we just like to be who we are, and as you know, we're pretty flamboyant people. So if we think it's coming out our mouth, and sometimes it's not good. But I think we get our point across, and we're not mean people. In fact, we've helped many people along the way, because we remember where we come from.
They just all have to make it past, like I said, the guard dog.
Yeah, well, Rolsley, he sure don't like to put up with much shit. That's for sure. But again, he'll do anything for you and give you the shirt off his back. All my brothers, all my family are that way. But on the same token, we're not going to sit back and take anything. That's for sure.
Hey, Sam, I'm doing that Funny Car Chaos thing this year, and Funny Car Chaos has got turbo funny cars. It's got nitrous funny cars. It's got alcohol, nitro. This guy's got, 9 Pro Stocks and Pro Mod. We need a naturally aspirated funny car, Richard. I mean,
shit. Listen, I just told you I ain't got no more time. That would be cool, though. That would be cool. Scott Palmer would probably be somebody to hit up about that. He loves all kinds of that crazy shit.
Oh, well, Richard, man, look, thank you for your time tonight. And again, thank you. I don't think you hear it enough, but thank you for what you've done for the sport. I love Pro Stock. When I growing up watching drag racing, when I think of drag racing, I think of Bob Glidden pulling those levers. That's what I first think about. I love Pro Stock, and it was sad to see where it was going, and you and I know others involved, but y'all's investment has taken it to another level and made it healthy. And from a fan, from the media, me personally, again, thank you for what you've done.
Hey, we appreciate it, and I appreciate those words, because we take for granted a lot of times, and we know we have fans out there for the class and for us individually, and we appreciate you guys. You're always welcome at my pit, and you might not like what's being said, but we'll get through it. That's for sure.
Hey, Richard, like I said, it's always, fun whenever I'm around at the track and see you guys. Everybody's always joking and having a good time. And It's just like you said, it opens a door. These conversations like this opens a door for people to really get to see who you are, and understand that, you have a lot going on. You have this many teams that you're taking care of, and, race day and race week is exactly that, but no, thank you for your time. Thank you for clearing the air and really just giving people honest and true, statements of who Richard Freeman is and what he thinks about the future of our sport.
No problem. I appreciate you guys having me on. Call anytime.
Thank you,
All
Richard.
right.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you in Pomona.
All right.
Okay. There it is.
Yeah,
the real
Richard's a great
Richard
guy out
Freeman.
there. Yeah, Richard's a great guy. I think, Sam, I think at times some people misunderstand being busy with being unapproachable. There's a time the guy's carrying the block, whoever that might be. It's probably not the best time to ask for an autograph or what's going on. Let him get to set the block down, or that type of thing.
That's usually if someone's picking up a block, it's usually Chase, the youngest one. I mean, that dude is stacked.
Right, or Buddy Hole over there in the Nitro world, just like one finger.
What did he say? He grabbed it with unreal.
Yeah.
Boop, thank you. See you later.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole family. I mean, you can't. I don't know. Like I said, the Freeman family has been awesome. Helping me get interviews with Erica and anyone else that I need something with, or just hanging out at the pits, laughing, talking. It's all about, like you said, it's perception. And I think, we as race fans, we think that you're supposed to stop what you're doing right then and take care of the fans. But a lot of people don't understand, man, that turnaround time is very, very important. And if you're in the middle of something, and I hate to say it because, yes, the racers are there for the fans. But if you're in the middle of something, or these guys guys and girls, got to say that, have a mental clock, and they know, hey, I need, it's just like a guy getting ready for a football game. There's certain things that you do at certain times, on your clock and your countdown. So, I mean, we have to be, we as people, not just race fans, we as people have to learn a little patience. We all want it now, right now.
Now. A little patience. Yeah, I'll say, of the people, too, that Richard has had working under his banner, I mean, Sam, I think of the first time I took a camera to go get interviews at Atlanta Dragway, may it rest in peace, Southern Nationals. Two of his drivers in that particular Southern National event, they were only running Pro Mod, Alex Laughlin, Erica Enders, they gave me interviews. And when I mean, they had never seen me before with a camera. There were no credentials. I didn't even have these on at the time. Nothing. And they were gracious enough to give me an interview. So, and Richard has done the same thing. I remember at Pomona getting him and talking to him about the World Door Slammer Nationals, the inaugural one. They are approachable. They're an interesting group for sure, but we always talk about we want these characters in drag racing. Well, thank God we've got them. And then I see the KB crowd is almost like an alter ego of the elite crowd, and we need that, and we need the respectful rivalry that goes on between them. I think it's good for the sport, and I don't know, maybe also one of them will like hit each other, and it's a fight. That helps out too occasionally.
Jeez, Lee, you just had to go there. You had. Look. People go to a hockey game. Like, I like the hockey. You know this. Like, people want to see a what too. It's not just a hockey game, dude. You're taking me to my element as I ref hockey. I tell the junior hockey team this all the time. There's 3 ways you're going to get people to come to a hockey game: have cheap beer,
yes,
or have a 2-for-1 at the beginning of the game, or buy one get one half off. Whatever it is, You do that, people are coming. Why? Because they're going to get cheap beer. They're going to see a hockey game. And if you ain't winning, the only way to sell tickets is to fight. You tell me if there's not a fight that happens in a game, half the town's going to be at the game next day because all they heard about last week was there's a fight. It's the easiest way to sell tickets. In drag racing, you want to sell more tickets? In today's society, no, we can't have fights, but burn downs. We got to have rivalry. We got to have drivers on social media talking crap. Look at how Stevie Fat Jackson got so famous. Why? Because he was on social media every day talking crap.
Yep. Look, I believe it has even been Courtney Enders, the sister to Erica Enders, obviously. She has even said, like, man, we need like Tanner Gray back. Tanner Gray was like getting under everybody's skin. And though right, wrong, or indifferent, it helps out. It does. It causes people to be engaged. It gives us on these type of shows to talk about something and people diving in the comment section and being passionate about whatever their opinion is, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, or whether there can be a right or wrong on the subject itself. So, yes, we need those moments. We certainly do.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, Lee, is people, everyone wants to be able to voice their opinion about something. And the more we let people do that, or the more we can allow that for that to happen for anyone, it is for the better. I mean, it honestly is. I mean, we have to be able to put these guys and these girls out there on the forefront. Look at, and since we're talking about elite, look at one of the biggest things that's been so popular the last couple of years. Drive that bitch back, right?
Right.
It all started with Courtney getting in the car with her sister, with their camera phone, flipping it and say, what are we about to do? And Erica says, we're about to drive that bitch back. Because she won. Now, Matt Smith drove or rode his thing back. I don't want to say the B word too much because we might get, he rode. And then did a burnout, and then he got fined. I still want to know how much he got fined and if that fine's been paid or not. But I'm just saying, like, it's a simple thing. And it just comes down to we have to be able to promote ourselves more. And what Richard, I'm telling you, hands down, what Richard was saying about this whole TV show thing, I swear he's been reading my rule book. Like, I feel like Bobby Boucher right now that lost his playbook, in the Water Boy. But I'm just saying, like, it's truly, it's so true. Like, if we can just get inside and see what's going on. A lot of people don't understand the turnaround. Like, they hear the whistle of the air gun. They see the guy lifting up the heads, but they don't understand what it's like to do that while that stuff is burning hot. They get over there about the time where it's time to put everything back together and then wait a while and then fire it up. You know what I mean? Like,
I will also say this, and you know it as well. It's not as easy as, just put a camera there. Like, as well as I do, it's more than one camera. It's multiple cameras. Well, where's the money coming from to buy multiple cameras? Those multiple cameras need multiple SD cards. Then there's production work, even after the fact. Even if it was live. Now, I do think, in talking of the NHRA, they may very well have those capabilities already, and they just haven't got to that point. And, folks, I want to say this about the NHRA, because I do have issues with their social media, and I do have issues with some of their production, but I also commend for them moving forward and stepping up. Like, I've noticed the thumbnails on YouTube have been getting better when they used to have no thumbnails at all for a while. I've noticed they're allowing 1320 video to come to the track. I don't think that would have happened 3, 4, 5 years ago. And cover a race and put out several videos. So it's getting better. There's a lot of room for extra content for sure. and we may very well see it. Now, what could happen, though, Sam, and I think this is important, is maybe the NHRA could in some way aid the teams, allow them to do their own streaming, and the NHRA provides that bandwidth, for example, because, I mean, we all know that signal is atrocious at an NHRA national event because of all the people, all the cell phone signals, everything combating. Well, maybe the NHRA could help out with that, and teams have their own individual streams. Or also, the NHRA is great about retweeting, but there's also content they could share on Facebook itself. And you can dive in and go deeper and deeper, but they have made improvements. But yes, there's still a ton of content on the table. With that being said, also don't penalize the people getting the content that you can't get. Reward them too.
You're getting salty.
Slightly.
Just a little bit.
Slightly.
Just a little. Oh, Lee, I knew where you were going, but I wasn't gonna jump in there.
Slightly.
There's no way. Hey, it's just like calling this hockey game that I called this week. I called a penalty for charging. The guy comes like 15 steps and blows this kid up, and he goes for what? I said, you're not going to stand in the way when the freight train's coming down the tracks, are you? And he goes, no. I said, okay then. So what makes you think that kid really wanted to get hit like that? And Lee, right there, you were coming down the freight train, and I was just going to avoid it and let you have your moment because I didn't need any part of that. So
No. So are we going to make Super Bowl picks? Scott's wondering.
We making Super Bowl picks?
I probably won't watch the game.
It's Sunday. Who knows? I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Super Bowl picks. You let me know. I'll make a pick. I'm down. Whatever.
I'm hoping for the Bengals, but I believe it will be the Rams.
I want Burr to get it just because he's so smooth. I like it, but I got to go with my dogs, man. I got to go with Von Miller. I got to go with OBJ. So I'm going to say the Rams are going to get it done at home. And that's just that. I got the Rams. So if anyone wants to, bet or anything else, I don't know, whatever we can do, what we can talk about online. But yes, right. I got the Rams. But Sam, I do respect Joe Burr.
Sam, look, man, Southern California getting all the love this year. They had the Clash, they have having the Super Bowl, and then Pomona with the Winter Nationals. I mean, back to back, boom, 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 boom. A lot of love down there.
What do you mean? Vegas was a place to be this weekend. I know that's like we people from Southern California call Vegas is a part of Southern California. Like, I hate to say it, but it is.
Oh.
Okay. We kind of engulf that, but man, it's like
y'all definitely suck up the same water.
Yeah, exactly. but yeah, man, it's like Vegas had the Pro Bowl and the NHL All-Star game. Like, why would you not want to be in Vegas this past weekend? Like, unreal. Unreal. Right. But no, man, I'm Super Bowl, like I said, don't really care.
Look, Sam, most importantly, I'm looking forward to being in Phoenix. There's so much this year with NHRA, and I wish the hype could go well beyond our sport and people understand it. There was a funny tweet by someone in the NASCAR social media world that said their next gen car was like the angriest sounding race car. And then it went on further to like World of Outlaws sprint cars. Like, no, ours are the angriest sounding. And it's like, hold on. NHRA, nitromethane burning, top fueler, or funny car, step up. I hope 2022 is a year where drag racing breaks out, honestly, and becomes a product in front of people more so that have never seen it. And we saw a little bit of it last year with, well, the most watched ever televised drag race. Maybe it can happen again.
I mean,
maybe we can break another record. Maybe it can go beyond. So 2022, man, I am looking forward to it, and the preseason testing, which is going to be streamed on competitionplus.tv. That's the YouTube channel. You can check it out. Make sure you are subscribed. And a little shameless plug here, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel, I'm like 2 away from 4,000 subscribers. If you are not subscribed, go subscribe.
can you give me a shameless plug too? I mean, come on, don't be greedy, Lee. Go over to Outlaw Performance ENT. I'm be dropping some new videos soon from last year. I've been working on those, so I will be dropping those because Lee's been getting on my case. But I'm excited about it, Lee. We're going to be together. The band is back together. A little bit more cowbell for these people. And yes, Mikey, I'm looking forward to the halftime show and the commercial more than anything about really the game. But that's just life. That's what the Super Bowl is about. That's what it's all about. But man, it is crazy.
George here, heading to Gainesville for the first time ever in a few weeks. I mean, we need like a sound for something like that. You know, like John Boy and Billy's got wah wah. You know, and we need a sound for that. Like when someone
we need some air horn. We need some
air horn.
Beep, beep.
Yes. Yes.
That's and I really hope that we bring back Jason Logan too for Friday night. I think you know, like all testing should be done, music blasting, everyone just in a cool, calm, collective atmosphere. That's what it's about.
It is. Stan, we don't know exactly when the next episode of Bobby's Get Off My Track will be. Bobby, those aren't scheduled. His latest Get Off My Track, his latest Get Off My Track was in written form concerning what's happening in Australia. You can read that article on competitionplus.com. But matter of fact, Bobby's never scheduled. He just comes on and we put him on.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Yeah, those are not planned. No way are those planned. Because if we knew, we probably wouldn't show up for the show that night. Just saying.
Bobby, again, thank you for what you are allowing us to do to yak it up, talk about drag racing, and have drag racing's late night show as we have been trying to advertise. We got to start getting some like jokes in here. You know what? When we start going into the season, we got to start cracking on the drivers. We got to start doing something. I don't know what.
You need a joke? I got a joke. It's a corny joke. It's a dad joke, but here we go. What would you call a seagull if it didn't fly over the sea?
I don't know. What?
A bagel, because it flies over the bay.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night. I'm out.
That's right. I got the dad joke of tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a great show. We had Lonnie Grimm on talking about Sick Week and everything tech NHRA. We had the one, the only, the Richard Freeman, Elite Motorsports, Elite HP, and everything else. Elite Cultivations, that everything that he's a part of. Go check them out. Check out the Monday Morning Racer. The Monday Morning Racer, that is Lee, my partner, that's on the show every Tuesday, yakking it up with me. Go check out his social. Help him out. Subscribe on YouTube. Go over there, hit the subscribe and hit the notification button. Go over to Competition Plus TV, hit subscribe and hit that notification button. That way you guys get this. Share this to your friends. Me, Slammin' Sam, Outlaw Performance ENT. Go over and like me on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. But we will see you live from testing. Lee and I, the band is back together, and we will see you next Tuesday, God willing. You guys know what you need to do. Keep the pedal to the metal. Keep talking drag racing. God bless. See you guys soon.